Welcome back to Premier League Friday. This weekend's action kicks off tomorrow lunchtime with Tottenham against Manchester United, the clubs that finished 17th and 15th respectively last season. But a win for either of them will see them go second. Benjamin Šeško is likely to start up front for United, despite some criticism from Gary Neville. He said in comparison to other summer signings, Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, Šeško has been, in his words, miles off it.
Of course, nobody likes to hear, but he struggled a little bit, and that is a fact. So let's embrace that. It's not personal. It's not nothing. That's what I try to explain the players. That is not personal. It's an opinion that is going to change in 3 weeks. Everything is going. What is true today in 3 weeks could be everything a lie. So of course, it's hard to hear, but my advice to Ben is you are going to get used, and then it's going to be natural. It's going to be like your Monday here. So that is part of the process, and we are going to help him, and we are going to protect Ben because he works really hard and he wants to succeed. So he's going to succeed.
He's still a young striker. He's still obviously adapting to the Premier League, to a team that feels like it's still growing in their own confidence. Do you think Gary's comments a bit harsh or fair?
Look, I think he's obviously got an emotional attachment to it because of it being Manchester United. Listen, he's underperformed. 100%. We all know that. It takes time. We've been in dressing rooms before when players, let alone players coming from abroad, even players that move up and down his own country, it takes time to set into a new environment, a new culture. We don't know if there's family involved, who he's had to bring over. The price tag as well. You know, there was crying out for a striker to come and sort of save Man United. So there's been a lot of pressure on there. And listen, it will take time. But what Ruben Amorim's saying there, he's in an environment now where we're going to help him as much as possible, and we'll get him to the top. Yeah.
Do you think, Rob, the senior players will be around him a lot in this moment, or is it just a case of kind of let him figure his own feet out?
You'd hope so. You'd hope they get around him and say, look, we've been through it. You look at Bruno Fernandes, he gets criticised from every angle. Yeah. He's the shining light of the team at times. And you look at Rasmus Højlund last season, was miles off it apparently. Now banging in goals for Napoli. So you're looking at it saying this is a recurring theme here. This is not just Šeško himself. So Manchester United have been way off it. They've been getting their act together now. So you're thinking, well, let's back him, let's support him, let's help him get through this, and with him, we'll get through it, and we're showing signs of life, we're showing signs of form, we can work with him. The manager's getting every week to training with the team because they've not got European football, they're out of the League Cup, so they've got time to deal with him. So you've got all these things, facets working for you, make it work for you.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, it obviously, as you say, it is getting a little bit better. It feels like a little bit of consistency that they're building on. Jamie Carragher had that famous quote about Casemiro when he said, leave the football before the football leaves you. But even Casemiro is, building in confidence. He's got 2 goals back to back. Do you think he's still, good enough for the Premier League? Do you think he's still up there?
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's putting in some real solid performances. I think it's been helped him scoring goals, first of all, and vital goals at that. But it's been helped in a way, and Ruben Amorim's been really, really clever with his formation, that 3-4-3. There's certain times where he's pushed Luke Shaw in to bolster that midfield, because that's where they've been a bit overloaded in midfield with Fernandes and Casemiro against an opposition that normally have 3 in midfield. And then with their legs, they have struggled. But where Luke Shaw's sometimes gone in is that inverted fullback, or they've had to just pull the 2 wide men in. So that it gives them more of a basis of a midfield 4. That's helped them where it saved their legs, so they can concentrate then about being on the ball, and what they've done on the ball in terms of this season has been a big improvement.
I know one player, Rob, you wanted to talk about, of course, was Sen Lammens, the new goalkeeper. Yep. What have you made of his start?
Well, it's been really promising, but you could say it's come from such a low bar from a Manchester United perspective. You look at his debut, he came for balls and claimed crosses, and was greeted by cheers as though they'd won the Champions League or something like that.
But what they had was
well, this was where they were.
Enough,
and you go back to David De Gea when he first came in and he got beaten up. And you've got a guy who had the confidence and coming for balls and coming for crosses. And I think from there, you're coming from a basis of A, competence, but then B, sort of real assuredness that what the manager wants, especially at a club like that, is to say, look at his goalkeeper and go, that's taken care of. There I have so many fires here that I've got to deal with all at once. You know, and the game is sometimes a relief for a manager of Manchester United. There's so much outward-facing stuff he's got to deal with that you're looking at it saying, one thing I don't want to have to do is field questions about my goalkeeper, field questions about whether he's the right man for the job. They've got that right now. So he's in a really good spot. He's really playing really well. He's still young. He's still got stuff to work on. Looking at him and his work with his shot stopping and his technique with that, I think there's a little bit to work on.
Well, that's it. I mean, there was the goal against Brighton. That I think we're going to show a clip of that. I mean, in this sort of situation, I mean, where can he improve in this? Yeah,
just looking at his footwork and looking at him, he's a little bit low and he does it a little bit, sits a little bit deep and on his heels. And from that, and it's hard to describe, but from there, it's like almost like sitting on a chair.
Yeah.
And it helps him in some aspects that when he comes to spread and make himself big, he does it really, really well. And he comes out and he manages to block shots really, really well. But in the aspects like this, you're looking at it thinking, he's not just quite getting into his full dive, his full triple extension through his ankle, his knees, his hips. You're looking at that. That's where you fully get your power from. It's because he's sat a little bit deep and he's a little bit on his heels. Then he's saying it's really hard to get your footwork in to then explode into a dive. And you're just looking at something like that. You say, he's got time. You know, he's going to let in goals, which are fantastic free kicks like that. Yeah. But when you go to the next level, when you go to making big saves to win you the league, win you the Champions League, you're looking at one-off big saves. You look at Courtois in the week against Liverpool. Fantastic, just huge moments and saves. Those are the things you go to. That's the next level. And that's just a little thing you're looking at him going, great start, the next level's there.
Do you think? Yeah. Do you think that potential is there for him?
Yeah. This is the thing.
In that
it's hypercritical.
Top bracket.
It's hypercritical. But you're saying you've shown the competence. You've shown you've got people on your side. You've got people like Peter Schmeichel going, "Yep, this is the guy. It's good enough for me." You know that sort of backing. So you're saying, right, what's next? Right, where can we work on him? Talk about Šeško working on his game. There's another you can work on the goalkeeper's game as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. OK, well, ahead of hosting United, Spurs have some issues to contend with. Mohamed Kudus is touch and go on whether or not he's going to be fit, and Thomas Frank's side have won just one of their 4 games in front of their own fans. Take a look at this. That's a home form for the 17 teams who have been in the top flight all the way through this calendar year. It's not pretty for Spurs. Of 14 league matches in front of their own fans, they've won just 3. A return of less than a point per game. Even West Ham have done better there.
Why have you got to say like that?
Oh, because I have to. Because everyone talks about it, Rob, saying, you know, West Ham at home, what are the fans getting their money for? I mean, why do you think Spurs have struggled so much at home, Steve?
Well, this goes back into last season as well, where the stats backed it up and it wasn't great. I think they play different football from home to away. At home, they play this sort of possession-based football, and again, stats back that up rather than away from home. Very much go back to the first game against Man City on the counter-attack, fast breaking, get into from one penalty box to the other as quickly as they can. There's a real contrast in styles, home and away. Then when you look at them at home, if they're trying to play this possession-based football and they've got Bentancur and Paulino in the middle of the park, 2 sort of ball winners, robust, getting the ball back, they just miss that spark of a real cutting-edge maverick that can just split sort of teams apart. They've had injuries as well, and they're missing them calibre of player. But that's the gist of why they're poor home and away.